Nightlife. Whether you're a party animal or a wallflower, you've bound to have been a night out at some point. Glasgow's notoriously known for its nightlife and party scene. The nighttime industries have a £10 billion turnover across Scotland and account for 137,000 jobs. It is obvious to assume that Glasgow's nightlife is booming. However, there's a stigma going around right now that nightlife is dying. But is that really the case? It is true that the number of nightclubs are declining at a rapid rate, with statistics showing a rise in people choosing to drink less and even less choosing to visit the city centre.
Hi, I'm Finlay Brown, and in this documentary we're going to be figuring out whether nightlife is dying in Glasgow as a whole.
One of Glasgow's longest standing nightclubs shut down in September this year. The Shed has been open since 1998 and hosts a wide range of gigs and club nights. The Shed closed its doors due to them facing financial struggles and shifts in nightlife cultures. Which brings up the question, is nightlife dying? To find the truth, I hit the streets of Glasgow to ask the people their thoughts on the current state of nightlife. On the nights that you've been on, how much would you say on average you've spent?
50.
50 is not actually bad. We've had some people say 150 quid.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably like 100, 150 quid.
Like 60, 70 quid.
About £100 a night out.
Maybe like a good 100 quid at least.
Between food and drinks, we could probably spend 150 to 200 quid.
Yeah.
Once you're having cocktails and stuff like that, it kind of adds up a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, about 150 to 200, I'd say.
Try and aim to spend around 40 to 50 pounds if I'm lucky for a full night, or most likely spend like 80 to 90.
So there's a stigma going around that nightlife is dying in Glasgow. Do you feel like that is happening?
I think it's kind of happening everywhere. I don't think it's just Glasgow individually. I definitely think since COVID it's hit quite hard. Even hospitality got hit really hard after COVID.
I wouldn't know if it's dying because I've not been going out a lot, so only been
it
just
depends
started.
wage, but like obviously if you're just on 18, 19, you're going to go out, especially if you're a uni
Depends.
student.
If you're older, I'd say I think it's dying, but for us it's good.
We've got a friend that owns a live venue and they just can't get people in the door.
Although the opinions of the general public was very insightful, it was still not enough to reach a satisfying conclusion. Now, I need to talk to the experts. After reaching out to a bunch of venues in Glasgow, I realised this was going to be a lot harder than I thought. However, after some convincing, one person finally agreed. I'm off to speak to the manager of Bunker and hospitality veteran David Halliday to get his opinion on whether or not nightlife is dying in Glasgow.
So my name's David Halliday. I've been in this industry in January, 20 years now. The kind of problems that we've had the last wee while are range from absolutely everything. So obviously you've got the cost of living crisis happening just now, so people aren't going out near as much. If I'm honest, I think a lot of it is actually quite down to people finding new ways of doing things. So during COVID, a whole generation almost learned new things to do rather than going out and getting drunk all the time. So it used to be that a lot of staff would work for tips and they could earn massive money from tips. However, now that everyone's paying by card, they're just tapping. They don't think to say, oh, here's one for yourself or take a drink for yourself. So you see the tips going down and down and down for staff. So now people are seeing this industry as not as attractive anymore. So trying to find good staff is work harder. I feel as if the smoking ban was the start of the decline. Initially, when that first came in, you had so many people that were adamant they were still going to smoke, pushing people towards house parties where they could sit and drink and have a smoke without having to worry about wandering outside. So with the cost of living crisis, everything's harder. We're having to fight and think of new ideas. Compared to what it used to be like with the industry, everything was quite easy. It sounds terrible to say so, but I mean, you could throw anything at the wall and it would stick. Whereas now you have to push and push to keep your venue relevant. I always find that the government are making changes that affect this industry, but never consult anyone who's ever actually worked in this industry. So they're making broad sweeping changes that they think will help them, but actually negatively affect the industry. To be honest with you, it was something that I've been struggling with for the last couple of years, of how you move forward in this industry and how Glasgow as a whole becomes better. I don't know the answer. I don't know that anyone knows the answer, but I'm hoping that because of everyone thinking of these ingenious new ideas and creating new spaces for people to go, watch music, or as I say, like interactive darts like Flight Club or the interactive Topgolf as a licensed premises, all these new ingenious ways of bringing it into the industry.
After an in-depth conversation, it is clear that the current state of nightlife is in a crisis. It is obvious that not only the clubs, the whole hospitality sector is taking a hit. Next on my list of people to talk to are the people whose job it is to keep us safe, the doormen of Glasgow. Obviously there's a stigma currently going around that nightlife is currently dying in Glasgow. Can you see that happening?
Yeah, for sure. Like I didn't work the doors before, but I was very much more active going out before COVID because I was in uni and didn't want to study. But yeah, you used to go out and it used to be like shoulder to shoulder everywhere you went. Now, you're lucky to get people in on a Friday, Saturday. It's dying.
Used to, again. I never really went out, but like I'll say, like the nightlife. According to rumours, what people are even saying, like nightlife is dying, like especially the clubs and stuff like that. It's not as as bouncy as it used to be back in the day.
But it's changed. Before COVID, nightclubs were thriving. Before COVID, nightclubs done well. The days of dance floors and things are done.
Dying,
yeah.
It's a fucking disaster, mate. It's gone downhill. Everything's gone downhill. There's nothing everywhere shutting, so, you know what I mean? It's just crap, man. Total fucking bullshit.
So what kind of, obviously the Shed's like a recent venue that shut down that had a bit of culture and history behind it. What other kind of things you might think factor on businesses going bust at the moment?
I don't know, just the fucking that LEZ crap, and people can't get into Glasgow. I want to come into Glasgow with the taxi fares, everything else that's going on. It's all just a fucking shambles, isn't it?
100%. So obviously with the SNP and the new laws they put down on licensing and stuff like that, do you feel like that's impacting you in any way possible?
No, but it's going to. It will eventually. You know what I mean? Eventually there'll not be any doormen. You know what I mean? Because there'll not be clubs, pubs, nobody anything. You know what I mean? The nightlife is dying, and at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck.
After gathering all this information, I need to see the current state of nightlife for myself. So tonight, I'll be going to one of Glasgow's iconic clubs in the city centre. I cannot believe this. It's 11:30 on a Friday night and there's no one to be seen, but a few bar staff, thumping music, and a sticky dance floor. After getting some reassurance from the staff that it will get busier in half an hour, I decided to stay. Unfortunately, this changed nothing. After being charged a ridiculous amount for entry and paying for an overpriced drink, I decided to call it quits. To conclude on my research, it is clear that nightlife is on a decline. With the cost of living rising, people would rather have a cheap night in, instead of wasting money on overpriced drinks and entry fees to empty nightclubs. With statistics showing that nightlife could be entirely dead by 2030, is nightlife reaching the end of its era? Can it be saved? And what does the future have in store for nightlife? I guess only time will tell.
You know all the other men, baby, they won't treat you like I could. Stop your searching around. I can't do this anymore. So give me your love.